There are some places that seem to vanish into thin air, but what if others are trying to stop you from finding them? Hello, and welcome to this channel. Today, we are exploring the hidden kingdom of Arden. First, we need to talk about the Hereford Mappa Mundi. We need to understand the legends that have survived throughout history. But if we want to discover those legends, we need your help. So please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Until the 16th century, when more accurate instruments took over, maps were a fusion of geography, art, and mythology. Maps were as much a reflection of what people wanted to believe as what they actually knew. And nowhere is this more apparent than in the Hereford Mappa Mundi. It's like an old magic school textbook where the pictures and stories tell you just as much as the text. Created around 1300, the map was probably commissioned by a wealthy family to hang in their home. At first glance, it's a bit overwhelming. There's so much going on. It's almost like a Renaissance painting, except instead of people, there are cities, real and imagined. Jerusalem, rightly or wrongly, is smack dab in the middle. The Holy Land is easy to navigate since you can just head straight for the center. But to get anywhere else, well, you'd need some serious navigational skills. The map isn't based on any mathematical grid. Instead, it's divided into sections: the North Sea, the Mediterranean, East Asia, and even Hell. The idea is that you start in the middle and radiate outwards. The world is basically a bunch of spokes on a wheel. The map is full of everything medieval Europe thought it knew about the world, including lots of things that aren't quite true, like the shape of Africa or Asia. But it's also got plenty of things that are utterly made up, like the monstrous Scylla or Charybdis, who lived in the Straits of Messina. This monster mash was pretty common in medieval maps. They loved putting little monsters around the edges to warn sailors away from dangerous waters. But it gets weirder. This map has plenty of blank spaces where it says the world is just unknown, but there are also patches where it says the world is just unknowable. This includes the far north and south pole, but also the interior of Africa and Asia. It wasn't that Europeans hadn't discovered these places, it's that they were deemed so alien and dangerous that they weren't worth mapping. They were either too evil or too primitive, or they were home to creatures that would just tear you apart. It's like when you zoom in on Google Maps to see a place and it blurs out for security reasons. Except for these places, it wasn't a technical limitation or legal concern. It was sheer prejudice. Some parts of the world were literally too much for the medieval mind to handle. Now, we don't know exactly why medieval people drew these blanks on their maps, but it probably had a lot to do with stereotypes and fears. They didn't necessarily believe that these places were empty. They just believed they were too awful to show. Africa was apparently full of demons, for instance, and Asia had too many pagans. If you didn't believe in the God of Abraham, then you might as well not believe in anything at all. Basically, there were whole swaths of the world that Europeans preferred to imagine as pure evil or utter nothingness, rather than showing them accurately. They were too much for the medieval mind to grapple with, so they were left uncharted, unwritten, and ultimately unknown.